Hey there, it's Lokazi. Thanks for joining me for another set of games. This is Moon versus oGsMC in the MLG Columbus lower bracket, round 7, best of 3. This is the first game. As you can see on the nifty scoreboard up there, it says 0-0. We have Moon spawning in as the red Zerg here at the 3 o'clock position on testbook, and oGsMC spawning in the, I guess this is like 11 o'clock position here on testbook. Testbook, of course, a 3-player map, so the positions are 11, 3, and 7-ish to make a giant triangle. Now, each one of the areas is actually a different type of groundscape, which is really cool. Terrain, I guess I should say. Which makes it really interesting and differentiated. Here on the east side of the map, it is kind of like this arid metal desert. It's kind of weird. And then here on the left-hand side, we've got this kind of sparse grass terrain. And in the south, we have this metal future space station tile set. And there are 4 watchtowers, which is kind of interesting. So you can actually get vision almost all the way to another player's base with them, which is really great. You can actually see them moving out of their main with the Zone Logger watchtower here, but it does need to be knocked down by these weird destructible rocks that are massive and have 1500 HP. So really only this one in the middle starts off being there. And we have pretty standard play out of both players right now. I don't see anything crazy going down. I'm actually going to leave that up there so that way we can see the supplies very easily. We have a gateway going up, which is going to have a cybernetics core here to block the ramp for any type of Zergling aggression with the Zerglings with a Zeal. There we go, blocking the ramp. And over here we have the spawning pool going down. It is probably was about like a 15 pool. Looks like he's drone back up and is getting his gas. He actually has not dropped his expansion yet. He assumed, I guess, that MC was going to be over there tickling his mineral line. And a Zeal is actually being boosted out and run to a very interesting location, actually. I'm guessing that's to check for an Overlord that's kind of chilling down over here somewhere. I'm not sure why it's rallied there. Moon, in the meantime, still has not picked up his expansion. Is spawning a pair of Zerglings to take out that... There we go. They're going to chase down that probe. And I imagine he's going to expand behind that. We have a Queen being produced, Zergling Speed being produced, which Zergling Speed before an expansion is very interesting. MC just running this probe as fast as he can away. Moon heading across the map. He knows that MC is not down here at the southern position. Well, he can assume because there's no wall off, which why wouldn't you wall off? There are 2 Zeals out on the field over here, so that's going to confirm his suspicion that it is in the top left-hand position where his opponent is spawned. In the meantime, a spawning pool going down, a second queen, a hatchery, there we go, a fast expansion or a slower expansion at the natural there, a second queen going down, and Zergling Speed almost finished. 3 Zeals making their way across the map, actually. They might deal a little bit of damage. But Zergling's getting into MC's base. He is going to have to use his probes to try and fight these off. He does not pull all of his probes. He has, it looks like 6 out in a group. Going for the surround there, the Zerglings do get away. In the meantime, these Zeals are hacking away at the front and beating down this hatchery, and they're actually facing less Zerglings than required, or than will be able to kill them. There we go. More Zerglings out on the field, and this should be able to clean up these Zeals without that much trouble. In the meantime, a force field was dropped, kind of an interesting position there, and more workers being pulled by MC. He loses 1 probe for a Zergling. Looks like he's about to lose another probe. Yep, loses another probe, but does lose 2 Zerglings for that as the tickle bubble beams come out and kill the Zerglings. And the expansion is up. It did manage to get actually about half of its health knocked off by those Zeals, and now more Zerglings are streaming across, and there's actually a force field ready to be dropped here. There we go, force field dropped along with this pylon, making a nice solid wall versus these few Zerglings, which had they gotten in, would have done a massive amount of damage. Another sentry is out on the field now, so he is going to be able to force field again should these Zerglings run in. Looks like they have backed up though. And now there's just no way those Zerglings can break. There are 3 sentries out with 2 Zeals. So MC is in a very solid position. He's going to go ahead and drop his expansion here. And on test bug, the like distance for the Nexus to the ramp is actually extremely small. Look at that. It gets blocked up by 2 units, which is really great for Protoss fast expanding. Meantime, Moon is just droning up. He's at 34. He has a Roach Warren finishing up here in just a moment. He has started his creep spread. It is connecting his main base and his expansion, and will soon be creeping out toward the middle of the map. In the meantime, being very active with the Zerglings, trying to get as much scouting information, keeping tabs on that army, making sure that sentries are being produced, because if you do not see sentries, you have to wonder, where is that gas going? And that gas is, in all likelihood, going towards tech, which could be Void Rays to deny the third of the Zerg player, could be Colossus for some type of timing, could be Blink Stalkers, could be Dark Templars. It really just opens up quite a few things that the Zerg player has to be aware of and has to prepare for. But as he spotted a lot of sentries out on the field, he knows that he is safe to take his expansion. He is going to be able to attack the Protoss army as it moves across the map fairly easily, and at the very least burn quite a few force fields if MC wanted to make a push at this point in time. Now, MC is up to 6 sentries, 2 Stalkers, and 4 Zeals, doing a probe transfer to his expansion. He is quite a bit behind economically right now. We Made Moon is up to 44 drones, which means he's going to be able to start producing a very strong army here in just a moment. And it looks like Moon has decided that he does not like these destructible rocks and wants that Xel'Naga tower, and is slowly creeping his way forward here. A few Overlords moving up and staying in position, while a few actually moving back. I'm not sure why these two are actually sitting here, unless it's just going through them one by one. Yeah, there he goes, sending them in different positions. Looks like Hallucination was researched here by MC. Very common tactic when you're going with this Gateway army. You don't need to pick up a Robo. You can just pick up Hallucination, send it across. If you see a lot of Roaches, you go ahead and pick up a Robo anyway, for A, an Observer to catch stealth Roaches, and B, Immortals, which just dominate Roaches. But if you don't see a lot of them, if you see a little bit of a mix, and you see expansions going up, you are perfectly fine to stay on just your Gateway army. Now, of course, a Robo probably will be. Yeah, there we go. Robo is going up, because it's great. Zergling trying to get by there, does not manage, and knocking down the destructible rocks here. I actually like these laser tag barrels over here by this Xel'Naga watchtower. That's what I'm going to go ahead and dub those. Those are laser tag barrels. See, they flash different colors. Yeah, that's exactly what they are. And then MC just has weird trees. Kind of, I guess they're palm trees? Yeah, I guess they're palm trees. They're not nearly as exciting as the laser tag barrels, though. You would think that the Zerg player would spawn near the trees, so that way they could corrupt and fall down, which would be cool by the creep. And the Protoss player by the laser tag barrels, but no such luck. And it looks like Moon is picking up an Overseer for picking up, or picking off, I guess, any type of Observer Scout. And Moon has positioned his Zergling at the 3rd of MC, so he will know whenever that comes out. In the meantime, Moon in a pretty big supply lead, which isn't too uncommon at this point in the game. He has picked up his 3rd, he has saturated it. Is it up to... Wow, he's up to 70 drones. Meanwhile, these hallucinated phoenixes keeping tabs on Moon's army. Getting a lot of information, knowing exactly how many are out on the field. Moon is at +1. I'm not sure if MC is actually upgraded. MC has not upgraded yet. Quite a few Stalkers being warped in. By keeping tabs on this army with these hallucinated phoenixes, he knows exactly the composition and knows that he can just warp out quite a few Stalkers to take on all these Roaches. Hydra hitting the field here for Moon, which means more are going to be on the way, as building 1 Hydra is a little odd. I guess it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, but not the best idea in the world. And I say not the worst idea because you need something there to pick off the Observer, so maybe the Roaches could burrow, but that does not appear to be the case. More Hydralisks coming up here. And Moon actually picking up a 4th base in the far south. And these chokes are actually fairly narrow here for Moon. no real big open area for him to push through, and it looks like MC is going to go ahead and blink up into this third, try and deal some damage, force fielding off the entire Zerg army with just, it looks like you can actually force field that off with 3 force fields, 4 thrown down though, and Moon is just going to go for the counter and actually push right towards the natural of MC, see what type of damage he can do there. He picks off the reinforcing pylon, another reinforcing pylon. Now he's going to back up. He has this middle watchtower, he has sight. This is probably the best place for him to actually engage this Protoss army, as it's where he can get the biggest concave. But MC knows this and backs him up actually. Good burrow there by Moon. He's going to back up underneath those force fields. He was careful not to let Hydras go out in front there and get force fielded in. Superb army control out of both players here. MC losing another pylon. Looks like research for +1 or +2 ground armor actually just finished. No, wait, +1, yeah. +1 ground armor just finished. +2 being stopped. And it looks like Moon is in a really good position here. He has so many roaches. It looks like he's just going to knock down this Nexus. And even if he loses this army, he's going to be way ahead of MC in supply. And there's no way MC is going to be able to come back from this. He's going to have to make this army kill this army. Wow, that sounded weird. Yes, okay, so I was saying MC was going to have to use these Stalkers to not only take out this army, but then push in and deal damage to the natural of Moon. But Moon made a snap call there. As soon as he saw that he wasn't going to be able to defend his third, he pulled his drones, sent his army across the map, knocked out reinforcing pylons, so this army was separated from any type of reinforcements that would otherwise be able to boost it up to the strength to take on his army, and then just push straight across the map. And even if he loses this entire force, like I said, he was going to be able to resupply and fend off the attack with whatever units were left, and he took out this Nexus, winning him the game. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this and start it up again with Game 2 coming up here in just a moment in the MLG Columbus lower bracket, Round 7, Fox We Made Moon versus oGsMC. Catch you there in just a minute.